You try to make it scary.
Well, let's come back to that. So, Buff, I want to finish something and maybe add a little something to what you just said. You said even if it's inappropriate, it doesn't have to be. Like, if you don't, because a lot of times they're trying to figure it out. Like, oh, that was acceptable, so they don't tell. Like, if you have a question about it, if it's the smallest inkling of a question in your head, come to me. What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. I'm Tavares Ferguson, aka Ferg, joined with my co-host, Razi and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
So I mentioned RFK Jr. being a threat to President Biden. But now Cornell West, David Axelrod, the architect of Obama's 2008 and 2012 campaigns, tweeted out last week saying that Cornell West is somewhat of a threat by him being in the Green Party. And that's how the Democrats lost in 2016. With Jill Stein, like, I guess he's alleged eating up some of Hillary Clinton's votes. I know if you listen to this show, it may sound like we are hard on the Democrat Party. A lot of that's because we want them to do better. But again, it is so frustrating for them to seemingly miss the point. Jill Stein is not why you lost the election to Trump. You got to start relating to people more. You got to start selling your message and what you're doing for people more, and explaining to people why your policies are better than the other side's policies. You got to start reaching to people and stop focusing on, I don't know how much heat this is going to catch, but, you know, they focus on, you know, when it comes to the LGBTQIA community, it's great that they want equality for all. But some of the stuff they be focusing on is like downright silly. Like, I'm not saying this is a Democratic platform, but I could see them adopting this. Like, I saw an article where it's offensive now to say vagina, and that some of them want it to be called the front hole. That's great. You don't want to offend anybody.
Bonus hole.
Bonus hole or front hole. It's either one. Yeah.
Options. That's not, it's not a bonus.
It's the original.
It's the original. That's like spaghetti and fish. Fish is not a side. Spaghetti is a meal.
Oh, the New York.
That's Chicago people. That's Chicago.
That's Chicago. I was gonna say, yeah, they gonna come for you on that. The more serious part though is like, you look at what black trans women go through. They're fighting death. They're fighting not getting beat up. They're not worried about if you calling the vagina the bonus hole offends them. So focus on more serious things that help everyone. Is, like I say, it's great that they want equality for all, but I feel like they missed the point. And then when I see people like Bakari Sellers, you know, laugh off RFK Jr. and say he's not a threat. This is the same thing y'all did to Trump. It's the exact same thing. Y'all laughed at him until he was in the White House. I mean, we made every excuse from, he doesn't really want to be president. He has a new show coming out. He's just trying to gain this popularity. No, that egotistical dude wanted to be and became president. And last but not least, I still think one of the only reasons Democrats won in 2000 is because of COVID and how 45 handled COVID. He discouraged a lot of his voters from early voting. Had he not done that, the turnout may have been different. So that's all I got on that. Other than that, I got one other thing. Future, the rapper, you better leave Russell Wilson alone, man. I know he has been the recipient of a lot of jokes, being called a simp, but just remember, he does play football, one of the toughest sports in the world. And you pretty narrow in that. So unless you got some fighting skills I don't know about, you better leave that dude alone, man. That's all I got.
Well, I want a little clarity because you said a lot. the bonus whole debate or conversation, is that on somebody's ticket or platform? Are they talking about that?
No, it's not. Like I said, it's not something that the party has made on their platform or embraced, but it is something I can see them embracing and fighting for.
Or even if they don't fight for it, they'll try to defend it, right? And that's where they get off topic a lot, right? So some Republican will accuse them of supporting it, and instead of them like, hey, that's not part of our platform, let's get back to the issue, they will try to defend it and go down the, like, they get baited very, very easily. Yeah. And so that's, again, part of they're just not as good at politics as the Republicans go. So.
And I like Cornell West. I think he's a smart brother, but I am critical of him. Like he said Biden is, I forgot what he said. He was like, he did one of the worst things to black people ever with his crime bill that he introduced and ultimately passed in 94. For the last time, everyone wanted that crime bill. Everyone. Black people wanted it. Congress wanted it. The president wanted it. Everybody wanted it. Okay. Yes, it has some bad. It turned out to be bad, especially for black people. People obviously misused it, and you can look at it and say, yes, it was a mistake. But this revisionist history, as though everyone was already against it and knew the bad outcome on it, I think is false. So, I respect Cornell. I'm sure he's going to bring up issues that are important, but I think he's a little off with some of his criticism of the president.
Definitely. But speaking of, folks who just can't keep their mouth shut and everything, I don't know, have y'all heard the song by Punchmade Dev? Probably not. Don't know who he is. So Punchmade Dev is a very popular scammer on TikTok. And he made a song that taught everybody how to scam. And people are like taking notes and everything, trying to get their scam game up by Punchmade Dev. So, if you are in the scam business, and you want to level up a little bit, check out Punchmade Dev. Go check out the song. But it is hilarious if you listen to it. But he's really putting you on game. And as a banker, I will say he's actually telling the truth, which is really, really bad. So, if you want to get in the scam game, go check it out and, get your scam on.
Is there a responsible way that you can, I guess, explain some of his nuggets in the scams that he's teaching people?
So
without it sounding like we're suggesting it.
Okay. Disclaimer, we are not suggesting you do this. We do not support scamming or any type of illegal activity at all. We're just reporting the news. And the news says, if you want to do that, it's out there. But some of the nuggets that he was talking about was things like, making sure you put a VPN on whatever system you're going to log into the person's thing with, so that it looks like it's in their home state, that type of thing. He was talking about using spoofing technology to make sure that when you go in to the systems, then they can't trace it back to you. He was teaching how to use kind of a mule that you would put, transfer the wire money to and put it in their account, and you got to give them so much of the money so that they shut up and everything, and teaching them how to do it. Like, he's really talking about credit card scams and financial scams and showing you how to do that. Like, when you request a wire, what do you have to do and all that? Like, it's a masterclass in scamming. I'll just, throw it out there. I mean, because I've had to deal with a lot of what he's doing, and it makes it very, very difficult from like a security standpoint to be able to track down the stuff after all those layers of stuff that he put in place. So it was wild. I was listening to it literally with my mouth open, like, oh my God, this dude, like, I don't know how you don't get a RICO charge or some type of charge for even putting that song out. So, but is that First Amendment rights at that point? Like, I can tell people how to do it. You can't. Yeah. I can tell you how to commit a murder. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what was it? Biggie and Master P taught you how to cook crack. So it's really no different.
Yeah. So, but just so we can all be on the same accord, scamming is bad.
Scamming is bad. Scamming is bad. Don't scam, folks.
Don't scam.
But on a good news side of it, Carlee Russell. So shout out to social media. Once again, we love when we use it for good. Carlee Russell was abducted here in Birmingham, literally a half a mile from my exit. She saw what she described as a baby or a small child walking on the side of the interstate, called the police, pulled over to, help them out, and got abducted. She's been gone about 3 days, but I mean, social media activated and her face was everywhere on social media, especially here in the state and everything. And, I think she made like a lot of big news stations. D.L. Hughley, I saw, posted her and everything. And as of Saturday, I guess the abductors saw her face out there too much, so they couldn't move her like they wanted to, and they literally dropped her back off at her house. So some people are questioning that. Was it, a Juicy Smollett type of incident or not? That's the questions out there. I'm just happy she's home. The family is excited for it. But again, I'm glad that social media made it harder. So when we have these abductions, when we have these things, share that stuff, man. Put it out there. Make it hard for those folks to move. So then maybe we can get more people home. So trafficking is bad too.
Trafficking is bad. Let's keep a tally. So on a lighter note, I've been listening to SiriusXM, and they have a station on the app, 500 best hip hop songs of all time, something like that. So it takes a while to listen to it. So I've been jumping in the car and listening to it here and there. And there's a couple of things I want to bring to your attention. One, we talked about Juvenile a few weeks ago, and, you guys were a little disgusted when I said I'm not a fan of Back That Ass Up. Right? I just want it to be known. It's an unpopular opinion. Slow Jams is better than Back That Ass Up. Yeah.
Slow Jams by who?
Juvie.
Oh, I was on mute while I was disagreeing with you. But no. Slow Jam or Rodeo?
Hold on. Let me see. What song I have? Give me 1 second, Razi.
Is he thinking about Kanye or Twister?
Yeah, because Slow Jams was that's.
Yeah, Kanye had a
slow motion. My bad.
Oh, slow motion. Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Damn, that's like
slow
that
motion?
is talent.
I like it like that. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Got my man Soulja Slim on
yes.
Rest
yeah.
in peace.
I'm like, no, this is definitely Slow Jams is better.
He had some great ones. Rodeo. I mentioned Rodeo. I think that's another one that it was a really good song by Juvie.
I mean, he had some hits, but Slow Motion was better than Back That Ass Up.
Nah.
Yeah, I just like it for nostalgia purposes.
No, it's not even that. It's just when you break down how the beat, especially for the type of song that it is, how that beat comes in and literally allows you to run to the dance floor and get ready to, like, for the next 3.5 minutes, like dance and the women twerking, whatever, like that. Like that intro literally gives you time to do that. And then Lil Wayne's ad-lib verse at the end, and even Manny Fresh's verse, like it's a perfect track as far as a dance track goes.
Yeah, I know you can't stand it. It's man, come on.
Yeah.
No.
Like that, drop it like it's hot. Yeah,
I'm gonna stand on I prefer slow.
I talked about that masterclass. It's a masterclass in putting a song together, like production wise. Like it doesn't get much better than that song. When you talk about, I mean, the strings on it, the harmonies on it, it's dude, it's a great song. I mean, I think you don't like it because it was overplayed and that type of thing.
It's a good song. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm not a fan of it. It's a good song. I understand the appeal.
No, it's definitely Juvie's best song though.
Most popular doesn't mean best.
Yeah. Cause
now that I agree. It's his biggest hit. It's not his best song.
what's his best song then? Oh, I don't want to get into questions before. We're not gonna do that because we're real bad about doing that.
And last, so I was listening to this, and you guys don't have to answer, but I'm pretty sure our listeners will answer. And I really want one. There's only one person who can settle this for me, and whatever this person says is that's the answer. Close your eyes. Think back to circa 1992, 1993. Were you a Whoop There It Is? Or were you a Whoop There It Is?
95 South all the way, man.
Yeah. Whoop There It Is.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hold on. Tag team back again.
Yeah, I think this might be the tag team. Whoop There It Is. Which one is tag team? Is that Whoot or Whoop?
Whomp. Yeah, it had the MP at the end.
Okay. I think it might be tag team.
How did that happen, by the way?
It just happened to be, 92, 93. But
it was a popular saying before then in those circles.
I guess. There's only one person who can declare the winner.
Who's that?
One guess. She was a professional teen jammer. Wakanda. Whatever you say goes. I feel like when I think of those songs, I think about you, and I'm a lean on your expertise. So all our listeners, if she doesn't listen to this show, please reach out to her and let her know we need her expert opinion. And both were I think on the list, and it made me think about like I don't know which one I like better, because tag team comes to my head. But I don't know. So
I like Train better.
No, we're not going down all this. We're not going down this rabbit hole. Because
you know Miami bass music, that is my favorite genre.
Okay. Alrighty.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Unfortunately, I know the answer to this question. Haley is not here. So, Razi, what have you for us?
Well, Haley is here, but Sophie's not. So,
my bad. Sophie's not here.
I just want to say I'm proud of Haley. No, she might be able to do better than me, but I just want to say I'm proud of Haley. Haley's been doing her thing, man. You know, we talked about the whole cheering for the Stallions and everything. She's about to graduate December 9th. Big day for her to graduate, trying for PT school. Just got a job at a physical therapy office. So she's just doing her thing and growing up, man. And good job, Allison, doing her, raising her and everything. So shout out to y'all too, man. Haley and Allison, love you guys. With that being said, see, I had to get some sympathy in before I told my joke. So hopefully y'all are like me on that. But did y'all know that it's illegal to laugh out loud in Hawaii?
Something about aloha.
Yeah, you have to keep it aloha.
Yeah. Okay. Ferg hasn't even looked. Is he frozen?
Y'all gotta help a little bit, man. You gotta be like, yo, what? Like, it's like a knock joke, man. You can't just like guess it. Jeez. God, I need some help, man. Help me. You're on mute.
Give us a knock joke. Maybe that's what we're missing.
I don't have any knock jokes. I don't know what.
Yeah, you don't have any regular jokes either. You do it.
Damn, that was harsh.
I'm sorry. That's me. I'm still hurt that y'all won't even entertain the fact that slow motion.
Nah, like if you're gonna go against Back That Ass Up, like pick On Fire.
I mean, there's plenty of songs.
Nigga, if you want that Oscar Mayer.
Yeah, I just come on. 400. No,
okay, I got another one. What do you call a man that can't stand?
A layman?
Kneel.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Better.
All right.
Better.
Yeah.
400 Degrees is a classic, by the way. I just want to put that out.
It is. You know what? My bad. I should have said, I don't know what. And maybe get AI to do something and synthesize our voices or something and just.
I know. I'm gonna ask Chat GPT for a joke.
Ask Chat GPT right now.
That's it. Chat GPT. Tell me a joke. Sure, here's a joke for you. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Chat GPT just needs to, they're Razi level jokes. So, all right, maybe it gets better the more you ask, right? Like maybe it's like finding your sweet spot. There's an algorithm.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go first?
I can. Just keeping it light. This might be a quick question for us, but I talked about the Blackening. I don't know if you guys have seen it, or I think neither one of you have seen it. But for the listeners out there, if you guys haven't seen it, the Blackening is a black horror slasher film. All black cast. Generally, there's a couple white folks in there, but they really don't count. But it's a very, very good movie. When it comes to just kind of the horror genre, they take a lot of the tropes and kind of turn it on its head and look at it from a black person's lens. So go out, check it out. It's really good. But in light of that movie, it made me start thinking about some of the great black spoofs out there. And so I want you guys' opinion on like your top 3 spoofs in the ether or in movies wise.
Black spoofs?
Yeah.
Not a big spoof movie fan, but I do like I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, and I love how Jim Brown complains about his foot hurting throughout the movie. Like there is nothing there, and it's like a running thing. It gets worse and worse as the movie goes on, but his feet are killing him in that movie, and I do laugh at that part. But when I was younger, I did like Don't Be a Menace. Ain't no way in hell I watch that now, but it was funny back then when I watched it. And I guess, it's not a black movie. Are the scary movies considered black movies?
Yeah, the Wayans, did them.
Yeah. They produced them, right?
Again, yeah. They were stars in the first 4 or 5, and then they got pushed out. So
the funny part in that movie is my man with the little hand. He stuck it out. He's like, take my hand. Give me your other hand. Give me the good hand. So that's all I got though, man. But so those would be my 3. But don't come for me on Don't Be a Menace. I would not watch that now, but it was funny back then.
Yeah, and it don't have to be black. It could be any spoof. Byron,
do you want to?
Nah, it's still all I got.
I don't know. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker just is such a classic. My favorite part was the Chris Rock scene.
Yeah.
Oh, the real. I sure is hungry.
And when he came out that jail with that them platforms on with the dead fish
With the
running down the street, that whole movie.
The midgets, man, that whole movie is great. Like the midgets, the chick he was trying to smash, and she's like, pull the butt out.
It's something you can watch. It's something. It's nothing I would go search for. Like if I'm just scrolling through and it's 27 minutes in, I'll watch it.
The Naked Guns were spoof movies, right?
Yeah, they were.
I probably would replace Don't Be a Man for one of those. And I know my coworker's gonna kill me for not mentioning Black Dynamite, but I never really got into it.
Yeah. Was that a spoof or was that just a new age blaxploitation though?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You know what? You might be right. Okay, so let me stick with Naked Gun. That's my third.
Let me see. I have to think for a sec.
Now, Undercover Brother, I think was a spoof. Which one where he talks about your daddy must be what was it? Your daddy must be a butcher because you got two fine hams in the back of your pants.
Ladies Man.
Oh no, that's Ladies Man right there.
I was trying to see if that. I was trying to.
And her father was a meat burger.
Yeah,
meat burger.
I was trying to figure out, was that considered a parody? A spoof? Because I was a hell of a
Leon Phelps.
Ladies Man.
I like
fan.
that joint.
Yeah, we watched Ladies Man a bunch of times, man. Like,
we didn't have cable, so we had a couple of tapes back then, probably VHS, and Ladies Man was one of them. And I was a huge fan of Ladies Man. Let me see. So I will put Ladies Man on there if we accept that. CB4.
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
CB4. Oh, man. Go, Razi. I know I'm going to have another one to come up. So I got CB4, Don't Be a Menace. I'm Going to Get You Sucker and Ladies Man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Spaceballs.
Dang, you took mine. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Spaceballs is like one of my all-time faves, man. I love it. Like, it's all about the Schwartz. That was an awesome spoof of Star Wars, man. I mean, just everything about it. Piece of the Hut. I mean, they just had so many like underlying one-liners that kind of went on with it. So that one was great. Team America.
I knew you were going to come with that. Yes.
America. Yeah. Coming
rabble.
Day, yeah. So yeah, Team America is one for me. And then I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I that is like the first one that came to mind with it because it just has so many great ones. Oh, Ferg, you found a new one?
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about Austin Powers.
From the spy movie genre.
Spy movies. And then any of them like Leslie Nielsen, like
that's the Naked Gun stuff. Yeah,
Naked Guns. Top. They had Hot Shots, like the one that was like a Top Gun one as well.
Yeah, and Hot Shots Part 2.
They sure did. Yeah.
You can't take them too serious.
Yeah, I mean, that genre, man, if you want to just sit back and laugh and don't care about dumb slapstick type comedy, that genre is great for that, man.
Oh, yeah. So, it's either going to be good or it's going to be all bad. That's what you have.
Even when it's bad, it's good.
Would you say Half Baked has some spoof parts in it?
Yeah. It was just making fun of all the stoner type movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they were trying to be a more serious, not a spoof of them. I think they were just trying to make a stoner movie. Versus kind of like when we talk about Black Dynamite, right? I think they were just making a blaxploitation film. They weren't trying to like spoof the other ones as much as some of the others.
I forgot CB4. Did I say CB4 again?
Yeah, you said that.
Did I put that up on my list? So I can't do 3. It's got to be CB4 too. All right,
just throw it in there. It's cool. So it was a good little trip down memory lane. I so appreciate you. But go check out the Blackening. I actually bought it so that, support everything that's black. Wakanda forever, baby.
My God. Bunyan killing me.
The end of the movie. They shot him in the toe. It was so fake and horrible that his toe was about the size of my fist. Oh man, the theme music. You gotta get you some theme music.
Oh man, when he fell, like he came on out of those guns and he fell, they like shot him up, like
Yeah.
Nah, was that Damon Wayans that used to keep getting his ass beat the whole?
Yeah, by the midgets. They kept jumping on him. Yeah.
Speaking of, you can take is Blank Man a spoof of hero movies, or is it just a
spoof of a spoof?
It definitely is. Yeah.
Blank Man was. Oh, that was. Oh man, it was so. Never underestimate the power of the. No, that was Handyman on. I'm thinking of Living Color. Oh man.
Oh, we gotta stop. We ain't gonna never stop.
Well, the 90s, the early 90s, late in the 80s, early 90s was just black people were a spoof. Like it was just every movie we came out with was until they came out with the hood movies, but everything was pure comedy.
Yeah, because that's what they would let us play in. That's what they would produce. That's really what it came down to. Shout out to what is it, Amos Townsend or Robert Townsend for Hollywood Shuffle.
Nigga named Amos.
Hey, that's one of my charter members, Amos Townsend. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Good recovery.
Man. You want to go ahead and jump in, Buff?
Yeah, mine's a little serious, not too serious though. So growing up, I always heard, parents, adults, or whatever say, tell kids you can be whatever you want when you grow up. You can be whatever you want when you grow up, which was good because, like I told you guys last week, I've been watching Denzel watching the movies, and there's a scene in the Malcolm X movie where his teacher is like, I know you want to be a lawyer, but you're a nigger and you're good with your hands. So why don't you, try something where you can use your hands and be like a plumber or something like that. So it went from that to telling kids they can be whatever they want. But I'm wondering, my question is it a disservice to tell kids they can be whatever they want? Like if you tell a kid you can be president of the United States. Yeah, but statistically, nah, not really. Like, should we be more realistic, especially when you see what your kids' talents are and just statistically their chances of being something that's like 1 out of 600,000 or 1 in a million? Or do you let them, don't shoot their dreams down, let them shoot for the stars and find out themselves? Like, what message are you guys telling you? Wait, Razi, you already have an adult, but as far as with Sophie and Ali, what message will you tell them?
Hell, even Haley still, because she's still young,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want me to go first, Art?
You can if you want, since he called you out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's a good question, actually. I don't tell my kids they can be whatever they want. I tell them you have the opportunity to be whatever you want. And maybe that's a little different there. Because, like you said, there's aptitude, right? Can you do it? Is that something that comes naturally to you? There's that probability, right? Is it you want to be a professional athlete? Chances are slim. You want to be the president? That's 1 every 4 years. Like, that's 1 in 700 million chance, every 4 years. So I mean,
we've had 46
very different
in the history of America.
Right.
just no pressure. 46.
Yeah. One in a billion is kind of that estimate right now at this point. So yeah, it's that, like, having that real conversation with them about what do you want to be. You have the opportunity. We can work to get you there, but you can't be anything that you want to be. I've had to have the conversations. We talked a little bit about it with like supporting Haley versus kind of tempering her a little bit. I've had to have the conversations with them about, that's a viable thing. You could do it, but let's think about how you're going to have to live your life if you do that, right? Like, that's the trade-offs there. Like, you could be anything you want to be, but what do you want out of life versus a job? Like, what do you want out of life? If you want to travel a bunch and have a bunch of money and everything like that, I'm sorry, don't go be an artist. Chances are that, you're not going to do that, doing that. That's going to be a side hustle or something like that until you can make some money. But that's not like what you really want to do. Now, if you want to be a graphic artist or something where you're going to go, that's probably a little easier, right? Versus, hey, I want to be a painter and I'm going to try to make a living off of that. There are people out there that make a living off of that. Shout out to, the Jamies of the world, everything. But it's having the full conversation. So I think when they're 5 years old, you can say you could be anything that you want. But as they get older, you have to start having more real conversations. You can't let them live in that fantasy land through high school, right? I think that's what it is. You just have to have the age appropriate conversations.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with it. I think you don't crush their childhood. I mean, Razi just does a great job. He already told them there's no Santa and they can't be whatever they want. So, I mean, there it is. No, but for me, like, there's certain conversations like there's no benefit at this age. And Sky's 8, TJ's 4. He might want to be a dinosaur tomorrow. He wants to be Sonic right now. Like, it's let them enjoy life while life is still enjoyable. But I think at the same time, you have to have that conversation. Like Razi said, you don't take the shortcut on parenting. Now, here's the challenge is, yes, you said they have the opportunity to be whatever they want. And a lot of it depends on their skill set, their aptitude, all those things, resources, all those things. But at the same time, be careful not pushing them to do what you want them to be. Like that's also something you gotta be scared. Well, I want doctors, I want nurses, I want a lawyer. But you do have to have those real conversations. And as they get older, continue to have those conversations and find out why. Because I went to school to be a doctor. Didn't happen, right? So many people go to college, and I don't think like 21% of people actually, maybe even less than that, get a career in whatever they went to school for. So even discouraging them or encouraging them probably doesn't really even matter, because you're 20 years old. You don't know what the hell you want. Like that's why I said talk about Haley, because she's still young, and I've known people go get engineering degrees, MBAs, then go back and go to law school, or they go to med school, or they go back and do go back and get an MBA. And it's like, I know pharmacists who are doctorates of pharmacy going back to get MBAs. Like they want to get out of that field and get into something else. You just never know. I would encourage them to put themselves in the position to create as many opportunities for themselves. So if that's college, if that's secondary degrees, if that's a certain skill set they need to start developing while they're young, and, let them dream a little bit.
Yeah. Because the other part about it is, especially at that young age, they don't know the breadth of what's out there. So they're going to gravitate to the big names, right? So they might say, I want to be the president of the United States, but they may end up being a mayor of the town, right? Or they may be a state senator or even a senator. So it's one of those things that just means I want to go into politics, maybe, right? Like, yeah. I like that. And so maybe you can become president, but maybe you can't. But, you make a very good living as the mayor or as a city council member or whatever, and do that. So, they can still do that. Same with being a doctor. They may end up saying, oh, I want to be a doctor. And they end up like, oh, well, I don't want to be an actual doctor, but I want to be this obscure thing in the hospital because when I was shadowing, I saw them and they did this and that looked pretty cool.
If you remember at one point, when we were in Afghanistan, I was enamored by our nurse anesthetists. Mm-hmm. Like they were impressive, and I almost switched my major to nursing just to become a nurse anesthetist. And but my whole life, I just knew I wanted to be a doctor. I mean, I'm 42 years old. I still don't know what the hell I want to do with my life. I know what I'm doing with my life. You know, if I had to press a reset button, would it be something completely different? Probably so. Right? Like, so it's not fair to expect kids to know it all anyway. So many people change their major. Some people go to college without knowing. I know people who, you know, young kids who in college now just knew their whole life they want to do something now, and they're trying to figure out. They're dealing with the mental haze of their dreams changing, right? I wanted to be a doctor. Now I don't want to go to med school. Now they're going through things now because now they have to deal with this letdown that they've had for their whole life. They told their mom they wanted to be a doctor, their dad they wanted to be a doctor, and all this stuff's like, dude, go be an architect like you want to do. Like you got into this, you got into architecture. Your roommate's an architect, and you saw it and you like it. Go. So just put yourself in the right give yourself the ability to have as many opportunities as possible.
Perfect, excellent answers. It's really not a whole lot to say. I know you were saying how people can change their mind later in life. I mean, we had a billionaire reality TV star that decided to become president. I don't think he planned on that when he was 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's gonna continue to rape and pillage, and he was raping and pillaging in his early 20s, and now.
So, like, I will say this: if I had a son that looked like LeBron James at age 6, 7, 8, and he said, I want to be an NBA star one day. I'm like, you know what, son? I was hoping you say that. Let's go get the basketball goal right now. Because he looked like he was going to be able to do it.
Yeah, but then he's one accident away from, I know people personally who their kids have revolved around perfect size for football, whatever, one accident away. Not even accident. I know, and I'm not going to get into the details, but I knew a underlying medical condition that just sidelined this child from pursuing their dreams. They made it to college on a full scholarship for a Power 5 SEC school starting, and had to quit because of medical condition. So it's, and now their whole life revolved around that identity. And, that's tough, right? So it's scary. I
think as a parent, you can just, obviously, like you guys say, when they're like 5 and 6, yeah, let them say whatever. But as they get older, I think it's good as a parent to invest yourself into, the field that they want to get in, and be able to, give them knowledge or tips on how to better position themselves. Like I told you guys, Jasmine wants to be an artist. There's so many different things she can be with that. So what type of artist you want to be? I've been talking to curators at the Capitol and things like that. So there's so many different fields she can go into to where it's not necessarily just drawing a picture or painting a picture. Like there's so many avenues she can go with that. And I'm trying to, especially as she gets older and enters high school, learn as much as I can, give it to her, and see if that's something she's going to continue to stick with.
Yeah, and I even challenged this. I've had this conversation with Z, who loves art. Like, Z loves art. I'll walk in any day and she's probably watching some documentary on some obscure artist from 1947 that only painted 3 things in his life, but he painted them 1,000 times. Like, that's the kind of stuff she does. But, I always caution, because, I talk to the youth all the time, not discourage, but caution mixing your passions with your purpose. And you hear that all the time, right? Like, you can be an artist. Like, Jasmine can be the president of the United States and be an artist, right? Like, if you love art, nothing's going to stop you from doing art. Now, is having to your livelihood depending on art, and if they don't buy this painting or if you don't get in this next exhibit, does that taint your dreams or your passions? You know, like I know so many people who love certain sports throughout their whole life. They get into college and, you know, their whole life revolves around this, like their whole school career. Like you can't go to school anymore if, you don't PR this, you know, somebody replaced you or whatever. You're not starting anymore. You lost your scholarship. You can hate football. You can hate track. You can hate soccer. You can hate all those sports. You can hate art if it's done the wrong way. So I was talking to somebody today just saying, hey, because she was talking about doing like culinary arts and stuff like that. Like that sounds great, but you can also find something that's a little more stable, that you like, and still do your passion. Because a lot of times people they go that passion route and it doesn't pan out and they end up hating their passion.
All right.
And
yeah, I can't remember somebody that was saying the easiest way to start hating your hobby is to make a job of it.
Yeah.
And so there's that idea of what do you actually want to do to make money? And is that passion what you want to do to make money or not? So like with Jasmine, if she loves art, is it she wants to design day in, day out type thing? Or does she like the freedom to be able to create when she wants to or whatever? And maybe there's something else that she wants to do for a career to make money. So, you know, having that conversation and delineating those two, I think is really important as kids get into high school, get into college, to start thinking about what they want to do to actually make a living. Because too often what happens, and that's what happens a lot of times with those guys that graduate and don't go into the field that they graduated in, is because that was a passion for them. They liked it, they were interested in it, but they didn't want to make money, or they couldn't make money off of it. So now they got to do something to pay the bills,
and
so that they can do the passion.
Make sure you hit on that, because there's some that don't want to and there's some that can. Like my degree's in biology. If I don't go to med school, there's not or get a secondary or another degree, there's not a lot I can do with that, right? I can go teach,
or do research. Like, yeah.
But then you don't you might be on a research team, but like with a bachelor's in biology, you're not really doing much. They want somebody with a master's or something that specializes in, epidemiology or something like that. Now that's different, right? So be careful when you're just chasing these passions or these hobbies and trying to turn them into a career too soon. I'm not saying give up on your dreams. I'm just saying have a backup plan. Like you can be an artist driving trucks, making money, as long as you have something that's going to give you and provide you the life that you want while you're able to pursue your passion and not your livelihood revolving around that. So
yeah, and we're not trying to squash dreams, guys. If you want to give it your all and say, nope, I want to be an artist and I'm going to make it, I'm going to get a museum someday or whatever, go for it. But just know that you're going to be that starving artist for a little while until you make it big. And are you ready to do that, my child, or am I ready to support you while you do that? Because that's the other thing, is some people can, right? That's the independently wealthy. Those folks, they just support their kids and let them stay at the house and the kids be an artist or whatever. And maybe they make it, maybe they don't. And there's not a care in the world. But for most of us, you got to be out at 18. So you own your own. So you can't pursue those passions and those dreams in a more, methodical way after high school. So parents, kind of have the conversation.
Okay, sticking with kids. I want to say this will be quick, but it probably won't. Don't overthink it, which I probably will. 3 things for both. We talked about men and women a lot. And if you have to focus on one, I want you to focus on the guys. 3 things we can stop doing or start doing to these young boys, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, that we can start telling them or implementing in their lives with the outcome that they can be better human beings, better contributors to the society, better adults. And same thing for the young ladies. Because there's a lot of these generational curses and things that we look up to that we just need to change.
For the boys, stop asking them how many girlfriends they have when they're growing up. Make sure you instill in them to not only keep their hands to themselves and off a woman, but and we definitely have added caveats when it comes to protecting women. But be willing to protect women if that circumstance is there for you to do so, because too many of our women are victims at the hands of another man, usually their man at the time. And the third one, let me come back to that one. For girls, teach them more than how they look or how pretty they are or what size and shape they are. Teach them to that balance of being independent, but while also being accepting of help and healthy companionship. And just like with the boy example, I'll come back on the third with the girls. But those are my 2 for the boy and 2 for the young girls.
Stop telling boys to man up. Let them be kids. Let boys be the same as that little girl and show their emotions, share their emotions, be in their emotions. Let them be a child. I think we try to make our boys grow up way too fast in that, and so stop forcing them to man up. The second thing I'd probably say start doing with the boys is kind of to mirror what Buff said. We talk about stand up for the little guy, but usually when we talk about standing up for the little guy, it's standing up for little guys. We teach our boys to not let somebody bully another little boy, but when, like Buff said, a guy's messing with a girl or harassing her or whatever, for some reason we don't teach them to stop that part. They join in, they laugh. So start teaching our boys to stand up for all little guys, including the girls. Like you shouldn't be encouraging the bad behavior. Thirdly, I think for boys, it would be there's no gender specific, and I guess this is for boys and girls. There's no gender specific job. Let them, if a boy wants to be a nurse, a boy wants to be a nurse. Maybe his favorite aunt was a nurse and he saw what she did and he wants to do that too. Don't talk about that. Like that too often. It's boys that want to be teachers or boys that want to go even into the arts and things like that, or in the theater. They get laughed at because that's kind of a girl or that's a soft job or career path. So stop that and just let them be happy in the role. We talked about the whole you can be anything you want to be, but we don't teach that today, right? We teach you can be everything that you want to be as long as society accepts that job role and that gender role. We put them in that box of that. So stop that in boys and girls, right? Girls, you really can be anything that you want to be. Girls can be lawyers and doctors and construction workers and welders and truck drivers, just like guys can. So yeah, I think we got to get out of that idea that there's gender specific jobs out there. I think for girls, I would say stop sexualizing them. Or hypersexualizing them. Stop automatically assuming when they hit puberty and they got boobs, all of a sudden they're having sex and they're loose and all of that. Like, stop that. Like the girl has boobs at 13. That's normal. Like it's you can't change that. So this false modesty from the 1950s and 1800s, I think we got to get out of that and stop sexualizing them and let them wear a t-shirt just like anybody else would. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, well, my third for both it deals with sex too, but I was gonna say I think we sexualize our boys in the sense that I think there is pressure on them to have sex at an early age. Mm-hmm. And I think it's largely ignored, when older women, make themselves available to a kid. Let's call it what it is, a kid. I think there is pressure on boys to have sex at an early age, which we see down the line causes a whole lot of other problems when they start, dating and expecting things from our daughters that a lot of these girls are not ready for. And with girls, I can't say this enough. Listen to them, continuously talk to them, that they can come to you as parents if anyone ever touches them inappropriately. And make sure you stress that you don't care if it's a friend of the family, a family member. You don't care if it's somebody that you see mommy or daddy like extremely cool with. If they touch you in an inappropriate way, let them know, stress to them that they can come to you, because I think too many of our young girls go through some form of sexual abuse, inappropriate touching and all that. And a lot of the culprits get away because they feel like they can't tell anyone. They'll get in trouble. And that's what these predators use a lot of times. If you tell your parents, they're going to believe me over you and you'll get in trouble.
And not just with that, the boys,
same thing.
You need to tell them the same thing. You need to tell the boys it's not okay for them to touch you. Just like you talk about making them grow up and sexualizing them and that older woman touching them. I think we need to really start, I guess, teaching them that that's not okay either. Like, you're not expected to have sex. But at the same time, not teaching the whole abstain, like making sex scary. I think that's a little bit of why it's such a thing that they're like, oh, we got to go into it, because it's like you try to make it scary.
Well, let's come back to that. So, Buff, I want to finish something and maybe add a little something to what you just said. You said even if it's inappropriate, it doesn't have to be. Like, if you don't, because a lot of times they're trying to figure it out. Like, oh, that was acceptable, so they don't tell. Like, if you have a question about it, if it's the smallest inkling of a question in your head, come to me. Mm-hmm. Because you have somebody you got a 12-year-old trying to figure out if that was inappropriate. Like, did the uncle or somebody hug her too hard, or and now because it might be a woman that might touch her, and we told her about the dangers of men, but now there's a woman doing the exact same thing that we're warning her about, or maybe on a little different level, and they can't figure it out. It doesn't make sense. This is not what
all they know is that it made them feel uncomfortable.
So anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or questionable, tell us. So for the guys, I'll start with the guys. You don't have to be. It's okay to love and want to protect women, and not in the and what I mean by that, not in the like the physical, you see somebody getting hurt. It's, you don't have to grow up with this predator mentality towards women. That's what we're taught. Let's call it is. Like, we're taught from day one that, we need to go get women, and it's about sex. So, and women are taught the exact opposite. So from day one, we're already at the battle, the sexist starts. We want our young girls not to have sex until, they're good and ready. The sooner our sons start, the better. Oh yeah. Junior's a man now, he had a little girl over, it's okay just to like somebody. It's okay to want her to do well. It's okay not to prey on her. And you could be in a full-fledged relationship, a healthy relationship, and not pressure her or pressure yourself into doing something that neither one of you is ready to do. Not having sex does not make you any less of a man. Like, don't rush to that. It's okay. It's okay to have emotions. Like, not only that, there was the video that Portia shared with us, and the young man was talking about his relationship with his son, how he wished his dad in those moments would have told him it was okay. Let him cry, not try to figure it out. So it's okay to have emotions. For the ladies, keep loving on yours, and that's a very dangerous. Too much loving to me can be dangerous. But this is directly to the men and some of the women who have that harsher mentality that what they want a man to be. let him love on you and love on him. Like, love on him. You know, my son lays under me all the time, and I just want to sit here. I just want to be under you. Like, and when he gets under me, he's under me. Like, he's into me. And just those moments. And it might not last 17, 18 minutes because he wants to go play Sonic or something. But those moments, him just knowing that he can be under me and he can express, and, you know, we talk about his emotions and, you know, using his words and all that stuff. But it's okay. And I guess to what Razi was saying is, it's okay to be your own person. Like, you don't have to follow social norms or the expectations of what it is to be a man, because we're all coming from the same playbook and we're just following the person before us who was probably wrong and wish they probably could reset the button. So it's okay just to, you know, march to the beat of your own drum. Figure out who you are. And for our girls, very similar. Don't rush to adulthood. And by that I mean, well, first of all, I'll step back. Don't take yourself so seriously. And not in a bad way, not like don't have your standards, but enjoy life. Enjoy being a young lady. Enjoy being a girl. Don't worry about the pressures of the outside world. Those things will fade. It's all temporary. You're 18, you're 22, you're 24. You're probably not mentally ready to be in the relationship that you think you want to be. Don't start practicing for all this stuff too soon. You know, girls are playing with dolls, doing all this stuff, and they can't wait. Like, Sky already can't wait to be married. And I think the reason she says because she likes seeing me and mommy, right? Which I think is a good thing. But at the same time, like, no, enjoy life. Go to college, have fun. Go to high school, have fun, da-da-da. And so we didn't start talking about her dating, and that was a whole nother conversation I wasn't ready to have, so we changed it. But so don't take yourself too seriously. March to the beat of your own drum. It's okay to be you. You don't have to, you know, lean towards, you know, over-sexualizing yourself because that seems like what the guys are into. That's what the guys are into because they're young and dumb. And set your standards. But make them realistic. Don't let anybody else set those standards for you. Tell you what those things are. Like, if you feel you're a certain value, then you stick to that. But make sure it's realistic and that you can meet them as well. So I think that's it. Anything else, fellas?
Nah, but that was an important question, though.
Yeah, because my goal was kind of loving the kids into the person that they're meant to be. Like, we put all these pressures on kids and young adults to be these people that we want them to be. And I think we're sending them down the wrong path. You know, we put these expectations on them. And the thing about it is the blind leading the blind. You know, so many of us have generational curses we're trying to break. And as we're trying to break them, we're still teaching them to the generation before us. You know, as much as we talk about, you know, not over sexualizing girls, it's still like Sky's developing. Now we're going to get her t-shirts and stuff, undershirts and stuff to wear. You know, Razi like, let her wear t-shirts. Like, yeah, but the world still is going to look at her and see her a certain way. Mm-hmm. So it's tough.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, because it's time to save at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through February 23rd, take an extra 40% off red tag clearance boots, jackets, and sweaters. We're talking the best cold weather styles from Vince, Cole Haan, Sam Edelman, and more. All on sale for even less. All sales final. You never know what you'll find, but you know it's gonna be so good. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
All right, fellas, let's go ahead and close it on out.
I got, let's see, I guess 3 quick things. One, once again, just want to remind the listeners, especially Inspire You on Air listeners. First off, thank you guys for listening. But we will be moving August 7th to Contentville, to a new app and a new time. As Razi said last week, we're going to be prime time, baby. So make sure you download that app and continue to rock with us. And also subscribe to us on any of your podcast platforms. I told you guys I'd keep you updated on my Denzel Washington journey. I finished Unstoppable, which I think was number 9. So I've only watched 1 since Malcolm X. Unstoppable, that's I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he's like a train conductor and there's a train on the loose and he figures out a way to stop it because it's an unmanned train on the loose. And last but not least, man, I want to send a shout out to my daughter's county public schools. They sent out an email today, and basically it's like a questionnaire for all students in grades the 3rd grade through the 12th grade. And it's basically just questions to see how they're feeling, if they're being bullied, what are their concerns about the school year. And they're going to identify, depending on kids' answers, the ones who may need like some counseling. They will reach out to the parents, of course, and say, hey, this is how your child answered this questionnaire. We suggest that you do X, Y, and Z or whatever like that, or talk to them about it. But some of the questions on there were like, what are you most excited about this school year? What are your biggest worries about this school year? And some of the choices are like worried about my family problems, building and maintaining friendships, feeling like I belong, being teased or bullied. Like a lot of stuff that, kids, especially with social media, probably worry about. But parents that grew up, a lot of us, we grew up, I think social media came into play when we were like in our early 20s, but we didn't grow up with a Facebook in middle school and high school. So there are still probably some parents that don't even think that's an issue. They don't realize what the bullying or the fears that their kids may be going through school and don't want to talk about. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm sure there'll probably be some parents that think it's intrusive. I don't know what bad they'll find in it, but I thought it was pretty cool to, just see what kids are thinking.
That's pretty dope. I remember you just shared it with us, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I hope my school does something like that for my kid. You said 3rd, so Sky's going to 3rd grade this year, so maybe we'll get something like that. Razi, you said they do that for Sophie's school?
Yeah. They don't send it home, though. The kids take it in the school or whatever, and then they kind of do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same with, like, they're going to take it at school. They're just informing the parents that that's what the kids will be taking.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's that same thing then. So that's pretty cool though. We have to do a disclaimer during registration, kind of the same thing to say, yeah, we're okay with them doing it and everything. So no, that's pretty dope. All I had, I think I've mentioned this before. I can't remember on here, but had a couple friends dealing with losses again and talking through them and everything. And I ran across this post that was talking about how you deal with loss as a friend, or how do you be a friend to somebody. And they were talking about, often we will hit the person with, hey, tell me if you need anything, I'm here for you, yada yada yada. And the post was saying, don't ask them what they need, just do it. And it's very different to, instead of saying, hey, what do you need? Let me know what you need. Rather than saying, hey, are you going to be home at 8:00? I got, Shipt is coming and dropping off groceries for you. So that's one less thing that you got to worry about, because all of us have dealt with loss, and you're living in a fog. It's hard to tell people what you need, because you just it's almost like you're paralyzed and you don't know what you need. You don't know what's missing and everything. And so just being able to do that, just kind of taking the actions. I remember, you guys just were like showed up and like, we're going to Atlanta for my birthday, right? To celebrate. Like, just do. Don't be like, hey, what do you need? Y'all were just there for me. That hits home a lot more than just kind of the check-ins. Do the check-ins, do the what do you need? I'm just checking on you. But I think that was a cool kind of thing to kind of think through. If you're a friend that's kind of trying to help somebody through it, you know what they like, you know what restaurants they like. Just be like, drop them some restaurant gift cards to the places that they like to go. So now, they can go to the restaurant because now it's prompting them to go to the restaurant and everything like that. So just kind of think about things that you can do without having to make that person think about what they need and what they want you to do. Or
hell, even ask, because they might even know, and they're just like, they don't ask, know? So that's a good one. Mine is going to be a little lighter. So, by the time this episode drops, I will be back in Houston. I'm getting ready to go on our HBCU tour and youth leadership conference. I'm taking 26, 27 high schoolers from Houston to Birmingham. We're going to stop in Montgomery, Alabama State, EJI Museum, and then Tuskegee, doing the Tuskegee Airmen Museum and the University of Tuskegee. And then we're going to make our way to Birmingham, but I'm excited. Several chapters of Lamplighters coming. I took the young men on something similar last year and they thoroughly enjoyed it. They're super excited. But for me, it was one of the most fulfilling moments in my 20 plus years in the fraternity. So, thank you to all the parents. Thank you to the parents that allow their kids to participate in something like this. These programs are great. So I urge you guys who have kids, find something for them to do. Find some type of mentorship organization. It's not, and some are too young, but as they get older, it's not that you guys don't have what it takes. It's not about you, because I've had some people, they think it's only boys with single parents, right? It's, the dad's home or whatever the case may be. He doesn't need anything like that. I can't wait to put my kids in something like this because I don't have all the answers myself. And so it's just building. This is an easy way to build your village for your young men. So or your young ladies. So if it's, the Lamplighters, if it's Kappa League, if it's Jack and Jill, if it's Del Team, any of those type organizations, Top Teen, get something where they can start socializing, networking, and other people can pour into your kids that might have some of the resources that you don't have. And even if you have those resources, as you know, our parents don't know what the hell they're talking about. So allowing somebody else to do the dirty work for you. So thank you to all the parents that let us do this. Thank you to all our supporters. I mean, we've raised a lot of money. These trips are not cheap. We still can use more, but we raised a lot of money and really don't have to come out of our pockets for anything. So that's great. And with that being said, see you in a couple of days, Razi. And then I'll see you in about a week and a half, Buff.
What's up?
3 brothers, no sense, 6 rules of podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.